Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Seriously. Happiest of Mondays. I know it's a Monday. I already know. It's a mother-loving Monday, but hey, it's another day getting that fresh air. Fresh air. But fresh air in your lungs. At least your heart is beating in your chest. You're awake, you are alive, and you are here to go through all this crap with us. Welcome to life, right? But I digress. Anyway, again, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. Yes, I'm a little worried about this war too, Mary. I'm a little worried about all this stuff. There's a lot going on. There was a lot that went on yesterday that I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about live. So we're going to talk about all that. We have a press conference that's happening in less than 20 minutes from now. So we will be, it depends on if he's on time. We'll see if he's on time. It's very rare if he's on time. But other than that, we're going to be hearing from Trump himself here very, very shortly. And he's gone kind of bonkers. He has. But we're going to talk about that and then some in just a little bit. So do me a favor before we hop into everything. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick. I'm on all of them, guys. So make sure you're hitting that follow button on those platforms. Hit that follow button. Follow. Subscribe here to my YouTube channel. Subscribe really quick. Subscribe right here on my YouTube channel. Please and thank you. We cover everything on this platform from true crime to pop culture and all the mucky muck in between. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. I'm going to be real. It is random. Okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. All right? Anyway, guys, we got to get into some things. We got some conversations that we need to have. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. Okay? We are living in some wild times. Okay? And I know who Hassan Abi is, of course. Who doesn't know who Hassan Abi is? Somebody just said, look up Hassan Piker. Yeah, we all know. I mean, if you're in the political sphere, it doesn't matter if you're on the right or left, or moderate, you know who Hassan is, okay? Big streamer. He's got a huge platform. Love to have him on the show sometime to pick his brain. I'm just going to be real. There's a lot of people I'd have be more than happy to have on the show to pick their brain about things that are going on in the world for sure, especially when we get into the political sphere, the political spectrum of the news. And as of late, we've been talking a lot about what's going on in Iran. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to fearmonger because I got better things to do than to fearmonger, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I am very worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, I called it. I'm going to say this, okay, really quick, because I feel like I know Trump to a certain extent. We all should know Trump to a certain extent now, okay? He added another deadline. At first, it was 48 hours. He said 48 hours, it's going down. If you don't do X, Y, and Z, if you don't open the Strait of Hormuz, you will see, I will rain hell upon thee, right? He said something along the lines of that. Then the very next day, he said, okay, Tuesday. It's going down on Tuesday. So apparently he's going to be blowing up on a Tuesday. I'm sorry, I had to. But nonetheless, he said, Tuesday, if the Strait of Hormuz does not open, it's going to be a very bad day for the Iranian people. Not the Iranian regime, but the Iranian people. Now, he's threatening, I'm going to be real, he's threatening war crimes. He's threatening to commit a war crime. I'm telling you right now, when you start going after infrastructure, energy infrastructure, the desalination plants, things that the Iranian people need to survive, that is against the rules of war, the rules of engagement of war. That's when you are walking into the world of war crimes. That is a massive, massive deal. Yes, Dutch, carp, fishing, Ollie. It's insane. And he's already been saying that. Let's go into the thing that he put up. Let's take a look at this. And this is crazy. He woke up one day. I don't know. Maybe the dementia's kicking in. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do no yayo. So it's not like he had chemicals. I mean, unless it's the dementia pills that he's taken or the heart, the blood thinners that he's taken that suddenly just kicked in some, had a bad effect, side effect or something. I don't know what it is, but something's up. But again, he goes, Tuesday's the day. Now, again, what I'm reading to you right here is war crime after war crime after war crime, just so you know. Yeah, Adderall, maybe he's kicking in. He's gnawing, like, you know what I mean? Because he took too much. Because you know that Adderall, the Ritalin Adderall stuff is like one molecule away from that snow. Isn't that true? Something like that. Somebody going to be like, well, actually, and push up their imaginary glasses. Actually, it's not completely correct. It's really, it's 4 molecules away, but who's counting? But anyway, nonetheless, he's gone unhinged. So much, so much that you got other Republicans speaking out, going, somebody needs to impeach him as soon as possible. You got other Republican lawmakers saying he has lost his doggone marbles. He lost his marbles. Take a look at this. He throws the F word in there. You know he means business when he says the F word. He's a New Yorker. Take a look at this. He says Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing Strait, you crazy bastards. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the wording here, okay? Open the effing Strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Now, let me just say this really quick. What's wrong with him? You know he's, and I already talked about this in a short, but I'm going to say it again. Doesn't it seem like he's poking an already awakened bear? The bear ain't sleeping no more. It's already awake, and he's like, praise be to Allah. You see what I'm saying? Not only did he call them crazy bastards, sorry, he throws the F-bomb in there too. Remember when he did it last time? Remember when he said they don't even know what the F they're doing between Israel and Iran? Back then, it was a different situation. He was trying to just, trying to create some sort of peace. But now he's in it. Now it's not they don't even know what the F they're doing and walking off like a gangster. No, now he's saying, open the effing Strait, you crazy bastards. Somebody said, anonymous mystic, Mystique, Mystic, I'm sorry, Mystique. Mystic just said he did not write that. You don't think he wrote that, huh? Some people are saying that they did this egg roll or Easter egg roll thing outside. People are now saying that be a clone, that's not actually Trump because we didn't see him for 24 hours. Yeah. Because people thought he died over Easter weekend. No, I mean, I'm not making this up. This is all true. There was rumor floating around. There was so much to talk to you guys about, but I didn't have time. I was busy. It was a busy day. It was a busy day. It was a busy, 36 hours or something like that. Since the last time I talked to y'all, it was a busy time. I didn't have time to hop on here and go, everybody thinks Trump's dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have time. But there was rumor going around saying that Trump gone. And now they're saying he a clone. I'm sorry. And this is the clone tweeting this, putting this on, on True Social. All I say is check his earlobes. Well, actually, if his earlobe is intact, then that might be a newer model. Because remember, there was a pew-pew situation where he got clipped in the ear, in the earlobe area. So there's a chunk, the real Trump, there's a chunk missing in his earlobe. Oh, damn. So if we see a full earlobe, that's the clone, bruh. Because they might have an older model. You see what I'm saying? Before he got clipped in the ear. You feel me? So if he has his full earlobe on the left side of his face, he a clone. Oh, snap. Oh, crazy to think that. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Some of y'all run into your phone. What? What did you say, Pascal? You got a point. Oh, snap. Yeah, Jess, he got a factory reset. You see what I'm saying? And we resorted back to the old, New Yorker real estate mogul Trump. Because now he's throwing F-bombs on Easter Sunday when the Lord has risen. Amen, 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 amen. Hopefully you guys all had a good Easter. If you were celebrating Easter, hopefully it was fantastic. Hopefully it was around people you love. Hopefully it was calm. I hope it was good. But on some real stuff, this is what he put out. Let me read that one more time for those of y'all in the nosebleed seats that are just getting late to the party. All right. Yeah, he's not looking to have a conversation with anybody. Let's be real. He's not looking to have conversations with anybody, guys. He wants that Strait open. He wants that Strait of Hormuz open as soon as possible. So Tuesday will be power plant day. So energy infrastructure destroyed, and bridge day. Okay. All wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Very Trumpism there. Open the effing Strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. And he said this on Easter Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Just let that sink. Let that sink in for a hot minute. Just suck it all the way down to your plums, okay? Don't get me wrong. The very beginning of it, okay? The whole thing is a dig, okay? The whole thing is fighting words. He ain't sitting there going okay, can we talk? Can we just talk and just work things out? No, he's not saying that at all. He's saying, get this going now or hell will be rained upon thee. That's it. But now he had to throw in the F word and calling them crazy bastards. Like that's just diabolical. You know what I'm saying? And then he says, praise be Allah. Like, really, homie. Yeah, it's disrespectful as all get out. Disrespectful as all get out. That's what I meant. Get out. It's disrespectful. But welcome to Trump. Oh, you also got to remember the same people that was rocking with Trump, like Pete Hegseth, he was screaming, unalive all Muslims at one point of his life when he was drunk out of his mind. So I mean, like, are we fully surprised that he would sit there and say praise be to Allah? Think about the peanut gallery that's surrounding this man's life right now. Aside from Melania. Who has done so much for this country. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Melania. So yeah, we got this is a very interesting time. We are living in some very, very interesting times. So here's the thing. We got a few things we got to look at. We're still waiting for this press conference. Let me show you that we have the press conference. We have the meats for sandwiches. We got that going on. We're still waiting for that. Okay. We're still waiting for that as everyone's, you know what I mean? Trying to get ready for all that. We're going to be looking at that press conference, which will be happening any minute now. But Trump did have some questions or did answer some questions outside of this Easter egg roll, which I don't even know what that is. The hell is an Easter egg roll? I ain't never heard of that. I mean, I prefer spring rolls more than egg rolls, but what's an Easter egg roll? Yeah, not another. Yeah, Jamie, another one. Okay. We the best music. So let's take a look at this, shall we? And for those of y'all who don't know, I was quoting DJ Khaled, just so you know. I know we got some older cats in the chat, and it's okay. It's okay. You're like, what's this? We the best music. What? Pascal, are you a producer? Do you make music now? No, that's just, I'm just quoting DJ Khaled for all you older cats in the chat. Look him up. Fantastic orchestral music. It's not orchestral, but you could check him out. Yeah, it is like an egg. But somebody said like an egg burrito. Not like an egg burrito, but it's like a Chinese deep fried burrito, miniature sized burritos. Those egg rolls. You know what I'm talking about. It kind of is. If you really think about it, it's a deep fried, rolled up, kind of like it's like a burrito, but it's like a small miniature burrito. You feel me? You roll an egg with a spoon. Okay, we're going to have to look at that when we get some time today, because that must have been interesting. Wait, is it you put the egg in your mouth like that? You got to balance it like that? Is it that? So then where's the rolling? You put an egg on the spoon and walk fast. I'm sorry. Really? Ooh, exhilarating. It's that one, right? Is it with the egg on the end and you run, right? So why is it called a roll? Why not the Easter egg walk or the Easter egg run or the Easter egg balance on the end of a spoon walk to the end finish line game? You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're overcomplicating things. Let's get into this, shall we? All right.
It's Tuesday at 8 p.m. Your final deadline. If Iran does not meet your demands, Mr. President, are you willing to continue the war?
Well, you'll have to watch. It's an easy question. The answer is yes, but you'll have to watch.
What do you think of the latest proposal?
They made a proposal, and it's a significant proposal.
Wait, that's weird that they're playing Stevie Wonder. That's weird. But moving on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like, whoa, wait a second. No. I have a feeling if Stevie Wonder hears this, he's gonna have a real problem with this. Okay. Notice that I said here. Sorry.
It's a significant step. It's not good enough, but it's a very significant step. They have made, they're negotiating now, and they've made a very significant step. We'll see what happens.
Have you spoken with Keir Starmer? Also, do you believe the UK could resurrect like Jesus this Easter weekend?
Well, that's what they need. They have a long way to go. The UK has a long way to go. We don't want another Neville Chamberlain. Do we agree? We don't want Neville Chamberlain.
How is the airman rescue doing?
He's doing really well. They're both doing well. It was two, and we held off the one because if they would have known we had him, so we held off the one. They are both recovering very well. They were both injured, and they're doing well.
Hold on, I'm going to pause that really quick. Okay, so here's the thing. I just want to point something out really, really quick, and we might have to hop back to this after the press conference because it may start any second here. But people are now saying that maybe the soldier that was rescued on Easter Sunday, and they're like, it's an Easter miracle, right? Which is still amazing. But there's people out here that are saying that the soldier wasn't actually caught, like wasn't actually rescued. They're saying that that's a bunch of malarkey. Yeah, y'all. That's crazy, right? Because there's an AI photo of a soldier being rescued. And he looks like, I'm so happy to be rescued by my brothers and sisters, right? They're saying that photo be AI. And there's the other thing, too. What's his face? Governor of Texas, dumbass. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. But anyway, he retweeted the photo being like, that's phenomenal. You know what I mean? This is fantastic. When it was an AI photo. And I'm forgetting his name. He's in a wheelchair. I forgot his name. Greg Abbott. Thank you. But now they're saying that photo was AI and he was sharing it as if it was true, as if it was real. And everyone's like, we have not seen the guy who actually was rescued by other soldiers, by American soldiers, by a rescue team. They're saying, where's the proof of that? Show us the actual soldier. Show us him alive. And apparently, we've never seen it yet. We have not seen a photo of this soldier showing proof positive that this guy's even alive and that he was actually rescued. I'm leaning on the side of, I hope he was rescued and that is true, because I feel like it would be absolutely diabolical for them to just come up with a lie and that soldier's still over there, or that the soldier's being tortured right now as we speak. If that were the case, you see what I'm saying? But this makes me think of Wag the Dog, that movie Wag the Dog, where you got what the hell is that guy's name? Woody Harrelson playing the soldier part. So I get a little worried about that kind of stuff because it's very easy for them to just fake the funk. And yeah, they are known liars. Yes, love, live, Nick. Yes, I agree. So again, they need to show proof positive of this soldier that actually was rescued instead of some AI slop.
What else?
Said that Iran has no anti-aircraft equipment. How are they able to drop those?
Well, you know what? When you do thousands and thousands of flights and you have one plane shot down and not mortally the two pilots got out, they got a little bit lucky. And you know what? In war, you need a little bit of luck also. They got a little bit lucky. That's all they got.
Ending the war. What's stopping you from ending the war?
Well, it could end very quickly, the war. They do what they have to do. They have to do certain things. They know that. They've been negotiating, I think, in we've had total regime change. You know, the people there now are much more reasonable than the lunatics that you had in phase one and phase two. They were lunatics. The people that we're negotiating with now on behalf of Iran are much more reasonable. You can call it what you want, but I call it regime change, and I think most people are giving us credit for that. The first regime was taken out. The second regime was taken out. Now the third group of people that we're dealing with is not as radicalized, and we think they're actually much smarter.
Much smarter may not be better for Trump.
Why did you use such vulgar language in that Truth Social post?
Only to make my point. I think you've heard it before.
So she said, why did you drop the F-bomb in that Truth Social post? And he said, to make my point. And you've heard me say that before. I just want to make sure that you guys heard that part, okay? And we've heard that before. And then things wrapped up pretty damn quickly when he said the F word. That is very true. I'm going to keep it a bean. It worked the first time, but it may not work this next time.
Mr. President, have you spoken to the families of the airmen that were saved? Have you spoken to the families of the airmen that were saved?
I'm going to be doing it right now.
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans who are not a fan of the war?
They're foolish because the war is about one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Okay.
Had we not broken the Barack Hussein Obama agreement, you know what I'm talking about, the Iran nuclear deal. This is years ago, my first term. You would have had a total, Israel would have been gone, extinguished. Israel would have been wiped off the face of the earth, and the entire Middle East would have been, at a minimum, in big trouble. But I did it. That was phase one. We killed Soleimani. Without Soleimani, if they had Soleimani, it would be a whole different thing. Maybe. We'd still be winning, but it would have been harder. Because we are obliterating that country. And I hate to do it, but we're obliterating. And they just don't want to say uncle. They don't want to cry, as the expression goes, uncle, but they will. And if they don't, they'll have no bridges. They'll have no power plants. They'll have no anything. I won't go further because there are other things that are worse than those two. And we might have, well, the thing, if I had my choice, what would I like to do? Take the oil. Because it's there for the taking. There's not a thing they can do about it.
You heard that, right? I think that's been his plan this entire time. Or I don't think it was plan A, but I do think now we're in plan B. And plan B is, I could be wrong, but I think this is the new plan. And this has been his plan for decades, guys, even before he became president in his first term. I think he's always had that idea. Yo, we got the strength. We have the muscle. We are the strongest military in the world. And I agree with that. We do. We are bomb, the bomb.com, pun intended. But we are not to be played with. So I could see him doing this as an opportunity to just go and straight up do a world version of a breaking and entering. Just go in there and just take it. And I think that's what is about to go down. And if it goes down, it's going to be bad, y'all. This is going to be really bad. How's your gas? And I'm not talking about like because you ate some beans and drank some milk at the same time. I'm saying how's your gas in your neck of the woods? Has it gone up? Has it gone down? Let me know, because it's gone up in my neck of the woods. Woo! Has it gone up? Man, has it gone up? Okay, what's the number in your neck of the woods? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Let's continue.
Unfortunately, the American people would like to see us come home. If it were up to me, I'd take the oil, I'd keep the oil, and would make plenty of money. And I'd also take care of the people of Iran, much better than they've been taken care of. It's been a horrible. They've killed 45,000 people as of a month and a half ago. 45,000 protesters. We don't do that. So if I had my choice, I'd keep the oil. But I also want to make the people of our country happy. I think most people wouldn't understand that. I'll give you an example. Venezuela has worked out so incredibly. We've had 100 million barrels of oil right now in Houston being refined. It's been great. The relationship with Venezuela, the leaders, has been fantastic. And I think we're going to have a long-term, very good relationship.
because you got Venezuela in a stranglehold, baby. You got them in a stranglehold. So of course they're gonna sit there and go, okay, cool, take it. Okay, take the oil. You got them in a stranglehold. You're gonna do the same thing to Iran. That's what I'm predicting. Because now it was, at first it was allegedly about the mother-loving nuke, manufacturing nukes. And what do you think he's going to do next? Come on now. He's like, all right, I'm going to take this too. And then we will have all the oil. And then America will get rich as hell. But you realize America, don't get me wrong, it will be true. It will be a big moneymaker for America. But it will mean that we have a big ass target on our backs. Huge target on our backs. Because you really think that these people are going to be okay with it? The other countries are going to be cool with it? There's going to be nothing but attacks going on. I'm telling you right now. Trump is up. This is his press conference. We're going to get straight into it. Man, oh man. Let's take a listen. Thanks for the heads up, guys. Stranglehold, baby.
It's a great honor to be with you.
Come on now.
Happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily, it's been one of the best. So good afternoon. We have quite a bit to discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude. And we're here today to celebrate the success of one of the largest, most complex, most harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission ever attempted by the military. Generally, when planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group, you can't really do this because you send in 200 men to pick up one. And it's something that's usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt. And bad things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and might not have been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent. We got a little luck too, I would say. And we were helped by a lot of people, a lot of great people. And it was an honor to be involved with it. It's very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive on Iranian soil. I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to one or two. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Those our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture. They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout. And he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas. So we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals, General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes that carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains. And we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand. So we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane. And then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes. And they got pretty well bogged down. And we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile. spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have, we have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used, and couldn't have lived without them. They did, and they performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle, and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine right in the middle? This was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. 1 load out, 1 load out, 1 load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. It's in many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that, if we would have had a runway or decent soil, but it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them. And the talent, the genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly. And within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. I tell you, well, it was the Easter. We were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. Amazing, because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. It tells you. First thing I said is these are unbelievable machines. How they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these 2 extraordinary rescues, because it was 2, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. And then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land
that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long. And I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft down by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic, boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. So impressed by that, because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane, but they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go. Blah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand.
Was it wet?
So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me, and many others that worked. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man who, he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it, but the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. The general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and resolve of the president who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the president put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the president can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities. And because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the president's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the president to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the president, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the president asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear, get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This president is about results. And now that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters. And all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Huh. Okay, here we go. Pete Hegseth.
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration.
War
CIA
haikus.
As well, incredible and ongoing partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In 2 extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran. This was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? 1 downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday.
Here we go.
A pilot reborn.
Here we go.
All home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability. That's what excellence in uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it. None of this would have been possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of 2, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night, because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 minutes and 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped. The meeting never stopped. The planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khamenei. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day. And to our adversaries watching from Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect our own and complete the mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God bless our troops, God bless President Trump, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I know before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the president said, around operational security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely. As the Secretary said, several hours later on the morning, after positively locating the front seater, call sign Dude 44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the Secretary and the President. Shortly thereafter, a U.S. Air Force Combat Search and Rescue Task Force comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute, HC-130 Combat King 2s, HH-60 Jolly Green 2 helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package comprised of combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44 Alpha from behind enemy lines. This was an incredibly dangerous mission, an incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the Search and Rescue Task Force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After picking up Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs. A Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try, means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the president and the secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the president said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 44 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the secretary and the president, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 44 Bravo. Again, this came to the president and the secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 44 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign. And this force had one single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and more importantly, being prepared for multiple simultaneous contingencies. And because of this force's professionalism, grit, and determination, fight off two enemies at the same time: the enemy searching for 44 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 44 Bravo. They were protected overhead by an air armada, including tactical drones, strike aircraft, and others. The force fought through multiple simultaneous contingencies, something no other nation, no other military can do, and safely returned Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, home, and all other Americans home as well. At midnight 12 local Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center declared Dude 44 Bravo, both the front and backseater, returned to friendly territory. The courage demonstrated by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect our nation's most sacred obligation to our military service members. We leave no one behind, bless you. It also perfectly captures the first truth of our special operations forces, that people are more important than hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder of the capability and will of America's joint force. The United States of America will recover our warfighters anywhere in the world, under any conditions, when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the joint force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly, to Dude 44, welcome home. Job well done. Thank you.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been
Everybody ready for
from
questions?
day one. They've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? It's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was. They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine, sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. was the head of a human being. I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, "We have him." And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. And it's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country, it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have two quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And he and his two friends were hung. And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, you know, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view is very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. They want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to, and if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But,
okay.
It's very unfair to say, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news.
He lost the plot, guys.
It's so bad.
He lost the plot.
The people that are so, you just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that? A woman shot right between the eyes. And after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, oh my God, who would do that? and they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. You know, Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting, and you have a woman, in the case of the woman, remember the Great Woman March? Everybody was saying, "Oh, this is the end of the country," and then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where they were. Where they coming from? This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too. They did that recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, you know, AOC +3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave, but we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get, and hitting you right between the eyes every single time, and you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here, you're out of there. I don't care who it is. Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No.
Good job.
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
Somebody else within?
No, there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. If they weren't, I would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. You know, this is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. You know, I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible, because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we are. But I will tell you the number. I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds of these people. That's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment. A lot of equipment. Nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource, like the general said, it seemed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking, well, this could have completely changed.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. You know, we're the best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody, we have goggles. I've tried them. They're unbelievable. I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day. You see just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer for us to do it at night, whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time, over unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like, they're totally whatever. And they had probably a little luck because you got to get lucky. But they shot it and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. Their timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this. You have tankers that are flying over this area so that because the flight was so long, they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well,
What's your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. Women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street. No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous. And we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel and really the Arab world, if you look, because, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, you take a look. I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. Countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street and you give somebody a 5-year or 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat. And it was one of the best things they ever did, because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it without even much thought. It was so easy. I terminated that. And then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But you, as a president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question, Mr. President. Mr. President, last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran and the US?
I can't talk about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that. But
You've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed the goals.
Who you with?
My name is Diakur. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Rudal Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and deharm it. Do you still want them to stay away?
This is insane.
Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then,
I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death, I mean, you know, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Wow.
President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing? Are you concerned? Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators. And because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
Iranians violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times. Because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election.
Oh, here we go.
New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Wow.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages.
Right.
And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down or are you escalating
I can't tell
it?
you. I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they
Why
do.
can't you?
This is a critical period. They have a
Come on, bro.
period of, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right?
Extensions.
I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow.
Hamburger.
Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages.
War crimes, yeah, war crimes.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water. And now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines yet, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents.
Oh, here we go.
And they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft weaponry. They have no radar. They have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world. And you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO... I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning when I spoke to UK of all. I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible, but 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Thank you,
Wow.
Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What does that mean?
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds of millions of barrels, hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. And paid for that war many, many times over, many times. You know, the old days, to the victim. Okay, you know that. To the winner belong the spoils, go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor, go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, the people that are running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House. They fired everybody. And you know what they had? They had a mess. And you know what happened? ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together. The police got together. They all got together. They formed ISIS. Not going to happen with us. So Venezuela has been an incredible situation. We went in. We were very successful. Military power like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, they were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically when you see that late at night, you know, you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian. And they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came, and they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for them. Their equipment didn't work. And there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button, nothing happened. They pressed it again and again, nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any, he used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles, and it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than normally. You're talking about two people. But this rescue captured the world's attention. But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers, murderers, the worst people in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know. And we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great border patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the border patrol. She never said, how are we doing? I used to call the border patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask them all the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. So maybe one or two more and we'll be done.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the Strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this
I do,
war?
because
And have you
God
sought
is
his direction?
good, because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says, I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, oh boy, they're so tough. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, you deserve the Nobel Prize. She announced that when they announced, they said, goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person. She said, no. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said, President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives. That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way.
Okay. Wow.
President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead. Dasha, go.
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting, including power plants, bridges. You've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that. We have a plan because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge. The bridge went, We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Crazy.
With NATO in the past,
Oh,
there's
snap.
danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting the decision making when it comes to wars and nuclear weapons.
No, it's not a danger. NATO's, look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, hey, if you want to help, great. No, we will not help. I said, that's all right. You don't want to help? Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO's a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was
You have
terrible.
to say it again.
But to me, he likes Trump. And do you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people,
Oh my dear
soldiers,
God.
in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent. Qatar has been excellent. UAE has been excellent. Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes really that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot. Boom, they got out because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got, and it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What about rising gas prices for Americans who are concerned?
I love how they scream questions like he's going to turn around and go, wait. Now, when you ask about gas prices. We're going to talk about that now. Give me back the mic. Is the mic still on? Hamburger. What say you guys? What say you on, you know what I mean? Like when they're like, what are you going to do? What you guys say about all this stuff that's going on and this, that, and the third? When he's like, I'm done. I'm out. I've been here for like damn near over an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? I hate that when when you see the perp walk and the reporters will sit there and go, what do you have to say about the families, the victims' families? You have anything to say? You know what I mean? Why did you do it? They're not going to say nothing. But they hope they're like, oh, he says, stop me right here. Come on, officer. I got some things to say. You know what I mean? It's like no one's going to say, he's walking away. He done. So yeah, Georgia, I was going to say the same thing. What the hell was that? That whole press conference. What was that? That was an interesting. That was interesting. So here's the thing. Unless tomorrow he suddenly changes his mind and says, I'm going to push it till Thursday, which I doubt he will. Ish is about to hit the mother-loving fan. Here's something. There is a piece that I wanted to share with y'all in the interview with while they're doing the egg roll. All right, or while they're at the event, the Easter egg roll. I want to share that with you guys because there's a conversation that a question that was directly sent or asked to Melania, and her answer was very diplomatic. And she, of course, was just trying to dig herself out of the situation. But they were asking her, aren't you concerned? Is there any concerns for you about the kids of Iran, the future of Iran? Because Trump is saying he's going after their infrastructure, their bridges, all that. He's saying they're very precise. They're going to, go and do this serious attack starting midnight tomorrow night, late tomorrow night, their time, I'm assuming. Their time, I don't know, or our time. I'm assuming, actually, let me reiterate that. I think it will be our time. So it'll be tomorrow night, walking into our Wednesday morning, they will already start bombing infrastructures, power plants, desalination utilities, etc. This is all going to be bad. He even said it right here. He said a whole bunch right there. Hold on, excuse me. He had quite a bit to say. And now he's sitting here saying, like, I am not playing. I am not playing. I am going to go after them, and we are going to take them back to the Stone Age. But what's crazy is he's saying, he even said it, it'll take them over 100 years to get their stuff back in order. Now, here's the thing. That's not good, guys. That's no bueno, because here's the thing. There's a question that was asked to Melania about the concerns of the Iranian children, the Iranian future. How about this? Iranians in general, okay? Not the Iranian regime, but the Iranian people. That's the big problem here. That's why people are saying, yo, Trumpy boo, you are literally committing or about to commit more war crimes. If you do what you say you're about to do, this could be very, very bad, not only just for the Iranian people, but also for the administration. And of course, if he does do this, and these are literal war crimes that are committed, he probably won't even be the one who gets hit with it. It'll be Pete Hegseth, which is also even more insane. But then think about the retaliation on said act. Trump saying, oh, I'm trying to be the nice guy. I'm trying to be the nice guy. I'm being the nice guy. I'm waiting for them to scream uncle, but they won't scream uncle because you got to remember, if they've been waiting for 47 years to do something, they've had 47 years to prepare for something. So God forbid what he says actually happens. You want to know something? What's really crazy is people were really worried about this. People were terrified about Trump in the first term being able to do stuff like this. And in the first term, he didn't do anything of that sort. What did he do? He showed, hey guys, like, I'm President Peace. I never started a war. He even said that in his closing speech at the end of his term. He said, I started no wars. I try to keep the peace and all that. And people applauded him for that. I did too. Like, damn, he's right. He didn't start no wars. He tried to keep everything pretty much, at least internationally wise, not domestically, because domestically we were literally eating each other. Okay, very, very highly volatile and polarizing on domestic soil. But with the world, everybody, like, he was trying everything he could to keep it chill and keep it cool. And he did for those 4 years. Then he comes back and it's a completely different Trump. I mean, it's still same Trump, just a new agenda. A brand new agenda. He's had 4 years. During the Biden years, he had 4 years to sit down and start concocting what he was going to do. And I truly think that this was part of the plan. This is part of his plan. While he was sitting there planning things out over the next 4 years, he already knew who he was going to bring into his team, who he was going to have, so on and so forth. He knew that. I feel like he was going to do exactly this. And now, I think what's going to happen is, come Tuesday, if Iran doesn't come to some sort of agreement, and if they keep on ignoring the likes of Pakistan and other countries that are trying to mediate this conversation of peace talks, or at least a ceasefire, I think he's going to bomb. And while he bombs, he's going to take oil. He's going to bomb and take over. That's what I think. It's crazy. This is about to get really, really bad. And that's the reason why so many lawmakers, especially those on the side of MAGA, are literally tripping their balls off right now. They are tripping hard right now. Absolutely terrified, absolutely concerned, because they do not want to see whatever he has coming Tuesday night. They do not want to see it. No one does. We don't. No American wants to see that. Well, no person on this planet wants to see what's about to come. They don't. They really, 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 really don't. I worry for us. And I worry for the people of Iran. Oh, here's the other thing that I found very interesting too. He says, well, the whole plan was, he says the plan wasn't, during that speech, he lost the plot because the first part was literally regime change. Yes, it had to do with the nukes, but he even said himself, it's not about the regime change. What? That's the first thing you said. Aside from them, like you not wanting them to have nukes and all that stuff, cool. All right, bet. But the other reason why you did what you did, which is cut off the head of the entire regime, a massive head, a massive portion of the entire regime, was so that there was regime change. And then suddenly now it's not about regime change anymore. What are you talking about? You say one thing and you do something completely different later on. Like I said, the plot to the story to this show completely changed. Operation Epic Fury at first was about regime change. Iranian people, this is your chance to take over. Decades in waiting. And then all of a sudden, now it's not about that anymore. So even he has lost the plot of his own show. Operation Epic Fury. Very interesting. Let me take this banner down. And by the way, please don't forget to hit that like button down below. Can we get it to 1K? That would really mean a lot to me. It really helps the show, helps us continue growing and all that. Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, please. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. We talk about everything on this channel, everything from true crime to pop culture to politics and all the mucky muck that's going on in between. If the world's about to blow up 17 times, we talking about it. Okay. But here is the I want to play a little bit more of this egg roll thing. Okay. Let's take a listen.
And it might be beyond long term. You understand what I mean? Well, I tell you what, I'm pretty good at this stuff, and I go around and I check. They'd like to see us win and come home. And I appreciate CNN for the first time maybe in my life. They did a poll, and everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. And CNN did a poll of MAGA voters, a big poll, very important poll, Harry. And he went on, he said, this is amazing, 100% support. He said, I've never had a 100% poll at anything before. And it's, do you support Trump, MAGA people, which is, by the way, mostly Republican. And if you look, I would say MAGA makes up a majority, like about 95% of the Republican Party, all right? So they went out, they did a poll, and CNN came back 100% support. So they support what we're doing, but they would like to see it end and come back. But remember, wars last years. We're in there for 34 days, and we've obliterated a very powerful country in 34 days. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd like to keep the oil. I just don't think the people of the United States would really understand.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
Yeah, who you with? Who you with? Well, that's a radical left group of...
See, isn't that crazy? Okay, do you hear what this woman's asking? Do you hear what she's asking? The reporter's asking, hey, how is this going to help you bombing all this infrastructure and all that stuff? How is that going to help the Iranian people? That is a very beautifully logical question to ask. Rightfully so. We all want to know that. And as soon as she asked that question, he goes, what news company are you with? And I think she said CBS or something like that. And then instead of him answering the question, to be completely real, because that's what everybody's concerned about, we don't want you committing any war crimes, bruh. We don't. We don't want to sit here and see you do something that we're not for. Okay? Attack the regime, attack the soldiers and all the bad guys. Go ahead. But everybody's really concerned. Everybody's hyper-focused on the idea that he is going to literally commit war crimes and hurt the Iranian people. Taking them back to the Stone Age is not helping the Iranian people. You realize that, right? Bombing them back to the Stone Age is not helping the Iranian people. It's making the Iranian people have a hard time. And then here's the thing. I've said this a million times in the past too. It grows and creates other radicalized or angry generations to come, because instantly they start looking at America. It's all America's fault. America, 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 America. These kids are growing up without even having any of those things. If he was to bomb them back to the Stone Age, those kids are going to literally wake up and grow up in a world where they're literally fighting for their lives every single day. You don't think that they're going to sit there and go, death to America type stuff, that type of mentality over and over and over and over again? I'm just saying, that's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So instead of trying to find ways to make this situation better or come up with some sort of ceasefire or some sort of peace talks, he could literally be siring the next generation of radicalized terrorists that are literally focused on trying to make America pay for what Trump may do tomorrow to Iran. You understand what I'm saying? It's bad. This is bad. So again, she asked a question, and as soon as she asks a good question that I'm sure he doesn't want to answer, he asks, wait, what news company are you with? Because he doesn't want to answer it. And what else is new? He'll sit there and go, oh, there you go. There you go again. Here's another piece of trash company. Hold on. Let me roll it back so you can hear exactly what's going on here.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
Yeah, who you with? Who you with? Well, that's a radical left group of lunatics that you're with. Let me just tell you, very fair question. The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free. And the only reason they're not out protesting, you know that, is because they were informed that if they protest, like the wrestler and his friends, if they protest, they will be shot immediately. And that's an edict, that's in writing. If they protest, if they go out in the streets, they will be immediately shot. They don't have guns. You know, we sent some guns, but the group that was supposed to give, which I said would happen to my people, I said it, I called it exactly. We sent guns, a lot of guns. They were supposed to go to the people so they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened? The people that they sent them to kept them because they said, what a beautiful gun, I think I'll keep it. So I'm very upset with a certain group of people, and they're going to pay a big price for that. But the Iranian people will fight back as soon as they know they're not going to be shot and as soon as they can get weapons. If they had weapons, not many of them, if they had weapons that would go the other way, and you know what would happen? Iran would give up in 2 seconds because they wouldn't be able to take it. But in Iran, they have absolutely no weaponry, and they've been told point blank, if you come out to the streets, you will be killed. As of this morning, and we have this on pretty good information, 45,000 protesters have been killed. Pretty bad.
You said Iran has been obliterated. Why are we still at war then?
It's a big country. They can't fight back. They have no capability. They have some missiles left. They have some drones left, but essentially they have no capability. They had a lucky shot with an airplane, but we got them back out. The rescue was incredible. And it wasn't of one person, it was of 2 person. There are those that say that's never happened before, because usually when you're shot down in strong enemy and deep enemy territory, you can't go after them because you'll end up losing 250 people to get one. So it's a terrible thing. But we had to make a decision. Do we do it or do we not? And we did. And, we have some helicopters with a lot of bullet holes in them right now. Probably you know that. No, I'm very honored to have rebuilt our military. We rebuilt our military in my first term. I'm using it in our second term. And we are the most respected country anywhere in the world with the greatest military anywhere in the world. Thank you. So we have a news conference. You'll all be there, so you can ask the question in a little while. We have a news conference in a little while. What would you like to ask her?
What she wants to say, Madam First Lady, can you tell us your message to the children and farmers?
Well,
So the guy asked this question. The reporter is asking, do you have anything to say to the people in the future, the children of Iran? Just so you know, okay? Just so you know. And this is her response, because of course, all of us are very, very concerned about how tomorrow night's going to go down. So rightfully so, everyone's very concerned. So they're going, hey, you know, you're a mother. What do you think? Do you have anything to say about the future for the kids in the future of Iran?
All of this is happening for their future, so they will be safe in years to come.
We're fighting for our children that are now in a war zone. We're keeping them as safe as we can possibly keep them. But we're fighting for their parents, their grandparents. We're fighting for them. We're fighting for their future. And I will tell you, it was given to me loud and clear. The time the Iranian people are the most unhappy when you hear bombs all over is when those bombs stop. That's the problem. It's when they stop, because that means that, are they coming back? We want to have them back. And, you know, everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. So hopefully it could be over with quickly. Again, there are lots of different alternatives. We have many alternatives. We could leave right now, and it would take them 15 years to rebuild what they have. We could leave right now. But I want to finish it up. Iran, ready, cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are lunatics, and you can't put nuclear weapons in the hands of a lunatic.
Okay. So we heard the press conference, and you guys have heard that piece. And I'm going to be real. I'm very worried, just like a lot of other people are too, because I give a damn about the people who live in other countries, regardless of their religious background or political background and whatnot. There are innocent lives in Iran. Yes, I get it. There are innocent lives in Iran that have been, that have been under tyranny for decades. I get that. I'm fully aware of that. But two wrongs don't make a right. I will say that. I'm really, really concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow night. Maybe they come to some sort of agreement. Maybe they figure something out, and everything will be fine. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, it doesn't seem like Iran is willing to bend. Trump's putting out his demands. Iran has put out their demands, and America has already reacted to that. Trump has already reacted, basically saying, you are asking for a miracle. Okay? But it doesn't seem like there's going to be any type of agreement coming anytime soon. But maybe something will happen a lot sooner or a lot quicker than we know. Maybe they will actually get scared of the actual attacks. Or maybe Trump will do a first sweep of bombings and then say, hey, you want to work something out, or we're going to continue? And maybe that's when Iran will be like, yeah, okay, let's work it out. Maybe. But that's not the vibe I'm getting so far. And also, if you notice, where's Jared Kushner in all this? Why does he have anything to say with anything that's going on right now in the White House? He's not a part of the administration anymore, is he not? So why does he have anything to say about any of this ish that's going on right now? Don't you think that's really interesting? Suddenly out of nowhere, Jared Kushner just out here. You know what I mean? Have everything or something to say about everything. I just about stuff like this. If you're not in the administration, the hell is going on, right? It's crazy. But let me show you this, guys. This is interesting. So during the White House Easter egg roll, Trump uses his time pushing political rhetoric on the children. Biden would use the auto pen. He would have I guess, used an auto pen following him around. He was incapable of signing his name, so they would follow him around with this big machine who likes to fake news. What? Let's see what he said here. This is during today. He's making a joke. I get it, but clearly it's going right over the kids' heads. They don't know this stuff, right?
Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen following. Joe Biden, he didn't.
You hear the kid? Biden would use the auto pen, and the kid goes, "What?"
Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have
what?
An auto pen following. Joe Biden, he didn't sign. He was incapable of signing his name. So they'd follow him around with this big machine. You know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed for him. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, they'd sign it with an auto pen, give it back. Not too big, right? Better to sign.
Joke completely flew over these kids' heads. Completely. I get it. It's a joke. I get it. But it flew over these kids' heads. I mean, how old are these kids? They want candy. They still believe in the Easter Bunny. They don't understand what this auto pen stuff is all about. They're like, what? What you talking about? Biden used to use this auto pen. What? Little kid said, what? What are you talking about, Trump? What are you talking about, Grandpa? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Him talking about NAM again. Here we go. That really happened, y'all. That really, really, really happened. But let's get into let's see what's going on with some other things. So again, by the way, this is interesting. ICE detained relatives of an Iranian commander. I think this was interesting too.
Members of a deceased Iranian military commander now behind bars. Here in the U.S., the federal government stripping away their legal right to stay in America. The niece and grandniece of Qasem Soleimani, an Iranian commander killed, as you remember, in a U.S. drone strike back in 2020, were taken into custody by ICE on Saturday in Los Angeles. Just one day earlier, Secretary of State Marco Rubio revoked their green cards, saying that they had been using the U.S. as a platform to support Iran's regime and celebrate attacks on American soldiers. Officials say these family members openly praised the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, which the U.S. designates as a terrorist organization. News Nation Mills Hayes joins us now with the very latest. So, Mills, what can you tell us about these arrests? What do we know so far?
Elizabeth, this is really a part of a broader campaign by the U.S. government to make sure that people in the U.S. that have connections to Iran's government and could be a danger don't stay in the U.S. The State Department says that Hamadeh Soleimani Afshar, an outspoken supporter of the Iranian regime, was living in the U.S. as an asylum seeker with her daughter. And over the weekend, ICE officers, following orders from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, arrested them both. The two were apparently living lavish lifestyles, posting images on their recently deleted Instagram pages, sometimes in racy outfits that many women in Iran are banned from wearing. The State Department says while living in the U.S., Soleimani's niece promoted Iranian regime propaganda, celebrated attacks on American soldiers, praised the new Iranian supreme leader, and denounced America as the great Satan.
And then apparently as they're doing that, they're also living the lap of luxury and enjoying the certain liberties that a lot of other Iranian women in Iran aren't allowed to actually have. Interesting. That's very interesting. Wow.
DHS says that she entered the United States back in June 2015 on a tourist visa. She was granted asylum in 2019 and became a green card holder in 2021. Last year, when she applied for citizenship, she disclosed that she had taken multiple trips back to Iran since she was given that green card. And former National Security Advisor John Bolton was the target of a murder for hire plot believed to be retaliation for that 2020 drone strike that killed Qasem Soleimani. He reacted earlier today.
A claim that you're in danger in your home country is necessary to justify asylum. And if you can go back and forth between your country and the U.S., that certainly undercuts the idea that you're in danger.
And a national security lawyer that we spoke with says that we could likely see more deportations of people linked to the Iranian regime.
We have seen that Iran has embedded people within the United States over the years. The fact that we haven't seen more organized terrorist attacks suggests that Iran feels comfortable where they are right now in terms of the military conflict with the United States.
And as we mentioned, Qasem Soleimani was killed by a U.S. drone strike back in 2020. And at the time, the State Department said that he was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of American service members. And these two are just the latest with connections to the Iranian government to lose legal status. The daughter of Iran's former national security advisor, Ali Larijani, who was killed in an airstrike last month, was stripped of her legal status. And she had actually been working as a professor at Emory University in Atlanta, Elizabeth.
Unbelievable. Mills Hayes, what a story.
Right. It's fascinating.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for your reporting. Appreciate it.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, but not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Are you? I kind of, I would kind of expect that for sure. Let me grab some of these super chats here really, really quick. I'm not going to get them all right now, but I'm going to get a few. So Star Fury, thank you so much for the love. Good afternoon, sir. How do you like living in the new America gangster paradise? Yeah, we you know, it is interesting. This is a very interesting world we're living in. I'm going to keep it real. But I am worried. I'm worried. I'm worried about the outcome. Okay. I'm worried about the outcome. I'm worried about what's going to what's going to come Tuesday. If we can't come to some sort of agreement, or if, you know, or if Iran can't actually just like send a message of trying to find some sort of peace, I don't know. Okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Give it time, I guess. We'll see. Ryan, thank you so much. I loathe how accepted this has become. USA failed. Yeah. He says that, you know, his approval rating is at like 100%. I don't see it. I'm like, where? 100% with MAGA. I'm like, where? There's so many other people. There's so many people I've seen within MAGA, like even Ann Coulter of all people, even Ann Coulter, Madame Nazi herself, is adamantly against what Trump is doing right now, calling what he's doing a war crime right now as we speak. Ann Coulter of all people. There's a lot of MAGA people that are not okay with this at all whatsoever. So I don't know where he's saying he's got this approval rating that's like at an all-time high with MAGA. Nobody's okay with this crap. From what I'm seeing, actually not nobody, a good portion, because I still see people in the chat, you know, some people, I'm sitting there going, I'm worried about what's going to happen, you know, on tomorrow night. And some people are like, good, thank God you're not a soldier. I'm like, bruh, I don't need to be a soldier. You know, for a fact, a lot of the soldiers don't even want to go too, and they're worried too. So my job is to talk to you guys about the news and let you know what's popping. And that's my opinion. I am worried about where this could go. This would be a different situation if like 9/11 had just happened and we're retaliating because of 9/11. And I'm not sitting here saying that we need a 9/11 situation for us to go out there, but I'm just saying this was totally unprovoked. A lot of people say that. A lot of people believe that. And it has escalated to something even greater than it needs to be. That's it. It needs to slow down. And it needs to slow down as soon as possible because, well, I mean, well, let me say this. I don't think we're at the point of no return. Now we're there. Because he's going, okay, I'll give you 48 hours. And then he said, I'll give you 10 days. Now it's like, I'm going to give you 10 days and one more day. And come Tuesday evening, 8 p.m., if we don't have an agreement, put on my table, or we don't get a phone call saying, hey, let's work out a deal, let's get a ceasefire conversation going, then I'm going to blow your entire country up and take you back to the Stone Age. He's still saying it. He hasn't said, oh, actually, I take that back. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't say this, that, and the third. Nope. He's like, okay, maybe I spoke too much. You know, I like to get a little dramatic. Nope, we're not doing that either. It's just, oops. I said what I said. Come midnight, Tuesday night, it's on like Donkey Kong. Crazy. Tanya, thank you so much for the love. That was the plan all along. That's what it's feeling like. That's for damn sure what it's feeling like. Watch Save Kids. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you for covering this. Of course. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah. It's about the oil. For sure, it's about the oil. Right. Thank you so much for the love. We have no America behind. We leave no America behind. I'm sorry. American behind. Mueller, a decorated service member, passed away. Good. I'm glad he's gone. Okay. Can't make this crap up. Yeah. He really did say that. He really did. Good. I'm glad he's dead. It's like, word? You got to be like, do you have to be that savage? For real? Damn, son. Damn. Okay. Ryan, thank you so much for the love. Literally using religion as a weapon. Project 2025. Now, I haven't read all of Project 2025, but if it is in that, if that is really written in there, then this is very crazy. But yeah, they've definitely been bringing in religion and trying to make it seem like this is some crusade, some epic quest, for the Lord, and it's not. It's not. BB Lee, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. I hope the Easter Bunny came to you to see you. Yeah. Had a great Easter. Hopefully you guys did too. Hopefully Easter Bunny came over to you guys too, if you're celebrating Easter and all that stuff too. So, but yeah, good times. Always good times. Carbon Eyes, thank you so much for the love. Another week, another moment of me thinking this orange buffoon's neck did the Subway diet. Oh my God. Hit the like. Yes, guys, be sure to hit the like. Thank you so much, Carbon Eyes. I appreciate the joke. Wait. Oh, there you go. Another one. Thank you so much again. The USA is forcing women and girls to give birth. Don't ever believe them that they're trying to save anyone when they're happy to mid out death at home. Yeah. You said it, Carbonize. You said it. JLK, thank you so much for the love. The only thing Felon 47 will destroy is that saggy, stinky diaper. Thanks, Mods and Pascal. Oh my God. Y'all coming in with these savage jokes. Savagery. Damn. Savagery. Let's go. Rye the Guy, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. A treaty is meant to stop other countries from attacking you. If you attack someone, other countries are not obligated to step in on your behalf. That is very true. That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. But if they're not coming in and saying, hey, let's work this out, or, you know what I mean? They're not sending anything. In fact, they keep on saying like, oh, your soldiers will be in hell. You come in and you bring hell to us, we will send those soldiers to hell. So come on. Come on with it, baby. Say all you want about like, oh, you're going to be hit with the likes you've never seen before. They're like, go ahead, baby. Come on. Okay. Come on. Sorry, I just saw a comment. Hold on. So I'm assuming you saw the skit. If you haven't seen the skit yet, go and check it out. And hopefully you enjoy it. It's just jokes. It's just jokes, guys. It's just jokes. Cher, thank you so much for the love and being a member for the past 2 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the heart emojis and the love. I appreciate it. Happy days. Where did it go? When did it go from cutting off their water supply to boom? Although either of the two should be considered genocide. I will say, I feel like there's always been a boom planned, but now he's going to direct it towards places that they need. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. That it's all going to be focused on, clearly he's like, I'm going to take you guys back to the Stone Age, but not meaning that I'm just going to blow up family homes and stuff like that in just random cities. No, I'm going to attack. He even said it too. He's like, we're going to be very precise, but still, no matter what, you going and taking their, water filtration systems, their power power infrastructure, bridges, etc., their way of life. You take that out. That's still hurting and harming the people of Iran. Remember, there are people that are still on life support, most likely, I would assume, in Iran, that still need power for that life support. You take out the energy infrastructure, there's going to be a heap of deaths and a heap of problems. And that's just one. That's just one incident that I'm talking about. One group of people. I'm not sitting here saying that there's a million people that are on, that are on life support right now. But there's a lot of people that are. Look at what happened in Cuba. A lot of people lost their lives because there were a lot of people on life support, literally. But because of these rolling blackouts, these complete straight up blackouts that they keep on having in Cuba, the fact that they're not getting enough resources because America cut Cuba off from the resources that they need, things have gotten really, really bad in Cuba. Literally, they're starving the people out, ridding them of all the things that they actually need to live in Cuba, live off of in Cuba. Now, you got the same situation potentially going to be happening in Iran. A multitude of bomber jets or whatever you want to call them flying over there and then just dropping on very specific areas. Their means of making money, trade, their means of making a living in their living in the country, their means of clean water, their means of decent power, electricity, all that gone. All that gone. This is the reason why there's a lot of MAGA heads that are not okay with that, not okay with what's going on here. So it's bad. And you know for a fact Israel's all about it. Joe Pesci in the corner, all about this. He's like, let's go. What am I, a clown? I'm a clown to you? What do you say? When you say I'm funny, how do you say I'm funny? That's Israel. That's Israel. Sitting there in the corner just waiting for this to happen, salivating at the mouth. Please make it happen. Let's go. And when it does happen, we're going to fly in and do some more muck as well. Watch. They're going to fly in and all kinds of crazy stuff is going to go down. Trust and believe. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. Now, there's something I need to talk to you guys about. First off, because I do want to share this piece. Yeah. It's 8 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, is the cutoff time. And then he said, come midnight, all hell's going to break loose. all hell is gone break loose. You understand that, right? I'm trying to see if I can find that again. Okay. I can't find the piece because there's like a timeline thing. But from my understanding, we have the likes of Pakistan and another country actually working on trying to create a 45-day ceasefire between basically Israel, America, and Iran. That's what they're trying. Even other countries are starting to step in because they realize of how devastatingly bad this could get. You realize that, right? They realize how bad this could get. So they're coming in and like, yo, hey, can we, Iran, I know Iran and Israel may be, I get it. I get it. America and Israel, they be tripping. Okay. They be tripping. But listen, we got to work something out, baby. We got to work something out because this is going to get bad. Yes, it's Turkey. Thank you. Pakistan and Turkey out here trying to just do this. Whoa. Hey. Give peace a chance. All I'm saying is give peace a chance. Hold up. Let's find a happy medium. Can we at least do a 45-day ceasefire while we can talk things out? Maybe we can bring in Dr. Phil, and America can get their voice heard. Israel can get their voice heard. Iran can get their voice heard. And maybe we can find some commonalities and some things that we can change as a people so we can move on. All right, let's do a little couples retreat. Let's sit down and hash it out. You got Pakistan and Turkey going out of their way trying to work this out. They don't have to, but they're trying to find some sort of even ground because Trump is not joking, or they believe that he's not joking, and that they will bomb Iran back to the Stone Age. I really, really hope that Turkey and Pakistan I hope they're doing whatever they need to do to make this work because this is about to get very bad come Tuesday night. And it'll be most likely us up early or very, very late at night covering the updates on this attack. If this attack actually happens. I hope it doesn't. I really don't. I hope Trump is bluffing, but I know he's not. Not with Pete Hegseth in tow. And Lindsey Graham with his little princess wand from Disneyland, sitting there in the corner, whacking off to the idea of Iran being bombed all the way back to the Stone Age. Because that's what he wants. Really. Pistol Pete is a nut. Yeah, he is a nut. They all are crazy. They're all crazy. But I think that while they're going and attacking, we're going to take over things. We're going to take over oil. We're not going to take over the land. We're going to take over the land in which the oil is under. And that's it. If this is to actually go down. I hope it's not. I hope it's not true. But we'll see what happens. Now, here's something else, okay? This is a little bit of a left turn. It's just something just a little bit different, okay, before we wrap up the show. But here's the thing. Something very weird is going on. We all saw and know about the Drewski skit, right? Where he's doing, he's dressed up as a blonde white woman. He's basically cosplaying Erica Kirk. And it was the whole, how, I forgot like the title of the skit, but it was like how conservative women are or something like that, right? And it's him dancing around and acting like Erica Kirk. And it's uncanny how precise and true he is on a lot of the things that he's saying about Erica Kirk. Well, a lot of people have had a lot of things to say about this situation. including Jake Paul. Why Jake Paul is in the conversation, I don't know. But what I will say is that he is saying now that he's planning on doing a blackface skit in response to Drewski's viral skit. We got to take a look at this. He had an interview with Theo Vaughn, and they're talking about this, this guy, Drewski's wearing whiteface, mimicking Erica Kirk. The whole thing basically is a parody on Erica Kirk. And he just said out loud, "No, man, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do blackface. I'm gonna do blackface." Take a look. On is saying, but I'm kind of with Nicole B when she just said, "I think we should just not do it." You know what I'm saying? I just think we shouldn't. But that's just my personal opinion. But I do get what Theo Vaughn is saying. Like, hey, getting, another name in there, being a part of the skit as well. I get it. But I'm going to be real. No matter what, it's still Jake Paul of all people. Actually, any white guy doing this would not be so great. But I'm just saying, it's Jake Paul doing it. So I don't think he's ever going to get the thumbs up from any person to do this. Because it's Jake Paul. You understand? There's so many people that are fantasizing about bashing his face in since the day it was, it's every day, bro. You know what I mean? Since he was a vlogger on YouTube. So you know what I'm saying? So no, I just don't see that. I just don't see any black person ever being okay. I just don't see any black person just being okay with it 110%, like at all, unless there was some other deeper meaning behind it, like there was a bigger message involved in there, not just a full-on parody, because there's already been plenty of that. You feel me? There's been plenty of that in the past. We don't need another one at this day and age. We already have enough. There's a history of it. Rolls and rolls of film, everybody. So, no, Jake Paul. No, I don't approve this message. It's crazy that Theo Vaughn is like, it doesn't matter what I say, because it's going to sound bad. It's going to end terribly. Exactly. It's the same thing with this idea that Jake Paul has in his dumbass head right now. He has been canceled, or he's been on the canceling block so many times in his life. And I get it. The canceling block is like a thing, like we shouldn't have to cancel people, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, like, there's just certain things you don't go, there's certain routes you just don't go down. And I just think, as a white man, even contemplating this, he must be very secure financially. You know what I'm saying?
Done it.
But he did it, and he had a bunch of white people around him too, though. If you watch the skit again, he's doing Pilates with white women. He's doing a press conference with white people as press and all that. So they're all in on the joke too. They know the joke. You see what I'm saying? It just, no. I'm sorry. It's a no for me, dog. It's just a no for me. Wow. That went. Ted Danson. Yeah, we can't forget Ted Danson. That was bad too. And he was with Whoopi at that time. Remember that? He was bumping uglies with Whoopi Goldberg. And he said, I got a great idea. I'm going to show up in, as Theo Vaughn just said, B-face. Right next to her. Everyone's going to love it. That destroyed his career. Not because he was boinking a black woman. It was because he was in black. And she was standing right next to him. Right next to his ass. Unbelievable. There's some, like I said, and then of course, what's her face? Megyn Kelly. Okay. lost her job because she was like, I don't understand why kids can't dress up for Halloween in blackface. And I was like, oh Lord. And she said that on national TV. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When it comes to stuff like this, here it is. If he wants to do it, go ahead. That's his life. And people will watch it. And either people will find it funny or they'll find it disrespectful. It just depends on what kind of content you're trying to make. Now, we've seen Drewski wear blackface. We've seen him, not blackface, I'm sorry. We've seen him do whiteface on a couple of skits, right? It's just very interesting when you see those skits, especially the one when he went to like the Daytona 500, whatever, you know, and he's just talking to a whole bunch of, and these people don't even know, they're not even aware that he actually is a black man, and how they're treating him in this particular skit was just very, very interesting, right? So again, you know, I thought it was great. I thought I was laughing. The thing with the Erica Kirk thing, I thought it was hilarious. Yes, I did. I do think it was funny, right? Yes, I do agree that we need to get back to that place where we can actually make fun of each other again, that we can make jokes at each other again, that we can just make comedy funny again, right? But there's a certain level of the blackface or just race changing. There's a very thin line. Blackface, there's no thin line. It's like razor sharp, razor thin. Okay, like you just can't. You can't see a Jimmy Kimmel doing something like this now. You see what I'm saying? I cannot see the likes of somebody like Jake Paul doing something like this right now. You got to understand, if it's a comedian and they're doing the blackface thing and they're doing it for comedic sake, and it's done very well, and it's not about doing stereotypes or anything of that sort, it's just playing a part, that's one thing. But it's another thing if you're Jake Paul doing blackface. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Like Ted Danson, the hell? Like the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like Jake Paul, everybody wants to punch him in the face. Everyone, since he was a YouTuber, people have been fantasizing about just knocking him down, like him completely earled. But then he does blackface. Woo! He's going to have a whole mob of people just sitting there going, please let me fight you. Please. No. I will do it for free. Trust me. So again, no, Jake Paul, don't do it. Yeah. Like just got teeth just shattered. Okay. Like I said, there's certain people, mostly comedians, that could probably do that. Maybe more left-leaning comedians. I'm going to keep it a bean. Maybe more left-leaning comedians that are maybe more highly respected in the black community that could probably do something like that, and it would land better than Jake Paul. I'm just keeping it a bean. He's not a comedian. He's not a comedian. He's not a comedian. He's not a comedian. And he's Jake Paul. So there's 5 things, 5 reasons that he shouldn't be doing it. Period. But I'm going to tell you right now, never mind. In the roster of all funny white comedians that I can think of right now, or even fair complected comedians right now, those sans melanin, none of them I can think of. I'd be like, okay, yeah, you in blackface. That's hilarious. I don't see it. None of them. There's already such a stigma attached to it. There's such a stigma. But like I said, somebody got to do it. But please don't be. Somebody got to do it for it to be acceptable. Somebody has to have the balls to do. Does that make sense? I don't need to see it personally. I don't. Seeing that kind of stuff does not. I'm not like, yeah, bring it back. I don't want it back. I don't want that crap back. It can go exactly. It could die with with the era it came out of. But like I said, if it was a thing where people wanted to turn it into a thing, somebody would have to make it a thing again. You see what I'm saying? But that person would have to be respected. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. did it too. But it made sense in the movie. They did it in a way that it made sense in the movie. It made sense in that movie. So I don't look at that movie and go, oh man, I can't believe he was a dude disguised as another dude acting like another dude. You know what I mean? Like I don't automatically go, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr., your career is ruined. No, it made sense in that movie, right? It made sense. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, context is, yeah, Shaggy, thank you. Context is everything. And the person, like it's so crazy that I'm even saying that out loud. But context is everything. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean, you people? I mean, come on. Tropic Thunder was hilarious. Tropic Thunder was hilarious. All right. They don't make movies like that anymore. I mean, I could see why they won't. Okay. But you got some of the most hated characters in one movie, right? It was hilarious. I'm sorry. It made sense in that movie. But would it play, would it do fine now? Nope. Nah, it would not. It would not land now if it was coming out now. Coming to the theater near you, Tropic Thunder. Nope. Everybody, there'd be debates and full on all kinds of craziness in these streets. Trust and believe. People would not be rocking with it, baby. Okay. So, like I said, it's a tough. That's the thing. It's a tough discussion, but at the same time, myself, I can't stand for it. And the likes of somebody like Jake Paul, I just don't see him doing anything like. But I'm sitting there going like, oh no, if that is my way of him going like that, and that just ends his entire career by him going and doing blackface, then I'd be like, go ahead and do blackface, baby. Go ahead, because your career is gonna be ruined after it. Go ahead, because you feel so inspired. You're not funny, but go ahead, do your thing, and see how that goes with the black community, or just people in general. You know what I mean? Yeah, like that. Go ahead. If that's my way of giving him that 1-2 punch knockout, woo! Go ahead, baby. Let's see how that skit lands. Let's see how it lands. But here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy about this, because he's all up in Trump's ass, right? So he gonna do that skit, and then somebody in the administration is gonna send that to Trump. Trump is gonna find it hilarious. He's gonna probably retweet it. He's already been tweeting things with, the Obamas looking like baboons. So why would he not share something of the likes of one of his favorite content creators rocking blackface? I could definitely see him doing that. J.D. Vance putting it up. Stephen Miller. Dr. Evil. All of them posting it. And then it'll be this whole thing for the right to be like, well, we're taking it back, or whatever the hell it is, trying to justify blackface somehow. Like if you noticed, they're trying to take certain words back, like the R word, right? They're trying to bring that back. Trump even said it during the press conference. I know he was quoting what Kim Jong-un says about Biden, but, you know, trying to bring that back. Trying to bring that back, the word gay. You know? They're trying to bring these certain words back that they were gone for a reason. They were retired for a reason. So again, like I said, go ahead, Jake Paul. Go ahead. Do your thing. But I won't enjoy it. And I know for damn sure there's a lot of other people that won't enjoy it either. It's a slippery slope. Okay. It's a slippery slope. But again, you know, but what say you guys? You know, are you with it or are you not with it? I personally am not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, what are your thoughts on that? Let me grab these super chats here really quick. Carbonize, thank you so much for the love. Did you guys know the U.S. government has given $500 million to try to steal my oil rich province of Canada? I didn't know that. If you ever wonder why Canadians are still not standing down, that's why. Drewski for life. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Canada, but that's what's up. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Mimi, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. For both super stickers, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, guys. I mean, you know, here's the thing. When it comes to the white face, black face situation, it's always going to be. It's a slippery slope, right? Some people are okay with it no matter what. They don't care as long as it's done in a respectful way and all that. And some other people are not okay with it. I see both sides of it. I just think that it also depends on who the person is that's actually doing said skit. I do think that too. Like if it was, okay, I just mentioned Ann Coulter, for example. If it was Ann Coulter doing blackface of a black female, parodying some black female, and she was doing this in a video saying this is comedy, I don't think it would land as well as if it was like Gary Owens doing blackface. Because I feel like he has some sense and he would try to find, if he was to do this, and I don't think he would, but yes, Harlot Oscara. Yes, it's about intention. All about intention, 110%. And when it comes to something like Jake Paul, I don't think his intentions are good. I think his intentions will only be to be obnoxious and be racist. Truly. I think it's all about intentions. Absolutely. Someone like Ann Coulter doing it, no, it's not going to land. Now, you know what I mean? There's just certain people, even the conservative, like the conservative centric comedians that are out there. You know, the ones like the Shane Gillises and all that. There's a bunch of them that are very much like loved by the right wing or by MAGA. If they were to do something like that, it would not land. It would not land very well at all. Intention is everything. So again, that would be bad. So Jake Paul just needs to put the makeup down and keep boxing. Unless he's trying to figure out a new career path. It's definitely not doing how you get something like that started is not you doing blackface. Just saying. Just saying, you know? But like I said, it is a very yeah, you know what I mean? maybe going to wrestling or something crazy. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just go and be the problem child over there. Keep boxing if you can still box. Because I've heard things like he might not be able to box again because of how badly he broke his jaw, allegedly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But blackface? Not for you, dog. That's a no for me. That's a big no. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. You could be anywhere else, but you're watching this show right here. I appreciate it. Please do me a favor before you get out of here. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. And if you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all of them. So make sure you hit that follow button. Follow, please, and thank you. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a safe rest of your day. If anything's popping off, I'll be on a little bit later on this evening. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.